evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the lair of Filmaru. Tonight we will be doing a very exciting episode for me on Filmaru, where we will be reviewing Miss Marvel. This series introduces Kamala Khan, a Muslim-American teenager growing up in Jersey City, an avid gamer, and a voracious fan fiction scribe. Kamala is a superhero mega fan with an oversized imagination, particularly when it comes to Captain Marvel. Yet Kamala feels like she doesn't fit in at school, and sometimes even at home. That is, until she gets superpowers like the heroes she always looks up to. Life gets better with superpowers, right? Now, this is a very exciting episode for me on this channel because I love Captain Marvel and I love Miss Marvel, and I am just a huge super fan. I love Spider-Man. I love the Miles Morales run of Spider-Man. I love Kate Bishop's version of Hawkeye. But Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is my favorite out of all of the superheroes. I've always thought of her as kind of a mix of Ant-Man with the size-changing powers where she can grow, or embiggen as she calls it, or she can shrink to any size she wants, and she's got kind of a bit of Mr. Fantastic with these stretchy powers and being able to shapeshift her body into any person, and just, I love Miss Marvel. So when I heard they were coming out with a Miss Marvel TV series on Disney+, I was really fucking excited. I was ecstatic. Then I heard about her powers changing, and a little less ecstatic, but just knowing that they're gonna have the comics accurate costume, and they're going to have an accurate character that looks very similar to Kamala in the comics. Iman Vellani is amazing as Miss Marvel in this series, and as Kamala Khan. I could imagine her fully as a super fan of Captain Marvel and Iron Man, and I could heavily imagine her as the Kamala that we've seen in the Avengers video game and all the comics and a bit of the animated TV shows that have popped up as like a side character or a part of a team with Spider-Man. And just, I love this series. But again, I wasn't too happy when they said they were changing the powers to make them more cosmic, to work along with Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and Photon. I love her powers in the comics, and I was hoping this would be a huge thing that they would do for us, where they would give her the powers that she gained through the Terrigen Mist that happened to her in her first run, where she finds out that she's inhuman and she gains powers. But I get it, because they're not too happy about the Inhumans TV series that came out on ABC a couple of years ago, because of how that failed. So I guess they kind of want to wipe the Inhumans from the series. But I really would have liked to see her have elongated powers mixed with shapeshifting, mixed with size powers. Her powers that she gets from being a part of the clandestine is okay. I mean, it's kind of cool watching her create platforms to jump around. It's also kind of cool where she can use those powers kind of like the Green Lantern Corps, where she can create things. She can create giant fists similar to what she had in the comics, except they're not actually her real hands. They're made out of crystals and light. And she can kind of embiggen herself. I mean, we do hear that during the finale, where she says embiggen, like she would do in the comics. I mean, it's okay. I've learned to accept it. I mean, they did try and kind of add her original powers in there. During the finale, she was able to elongate her arm to catch a truck after they after it almost hits a bunch of people. Again, she embiggens, but I kind of still am not a fan of the crystallized powers. On the other hand, we have Kamran from the original run of her comics, who is one of her first few villains next after working with Edison, because he's supposed to be like a pigeon using the DNA of Thomas Edison. I love Kamran. They kind of gave him the personality of the character from the series. Very sneaky, in love with Kamala, trying to do good things while also not really. Similar to Kamala, they changed his powers, and this is where I feel Marvel is screwing up again. Like, he's got the same powers as Kamala, but that kind of annoys me because they could have done something really different, trying to make it very comic accurate, where in the comics he has bioluminescence. His body glows bluish white energy, where here the crystals that he uses are more like a lighter greenish kind of color, and they didn't even use his biokinetic charges, where in the comics he uses the stored energy within his body to channel energy by discharging it and using it to shock or transfer the energy into an object, causing it to glow and then explode. Like, we don't even come close to that power in here. I mean, yeah, his biokinetic, the energy crystals that he produces do explode, or they can be used to hit things, but it's just not the same. For all they could do, I mean, bringing in Carol Danvers, Brie Larson into the series, and doing all this and trying to make the comic accurate Miss Marvel costume, they could have tried to find a way to make Kamran a bit more bioluminescent. Like, that would have been awesome, and I was waiting for that in the finale, and they never did it. Also, they could have brought in I mean, I get what they were doing with the jinn, trying to connect it to Muslim mythology with the jinns being these evil spirits that can grant wishes and are just essentially the fairies from old medieval folklore. But, I mean, I kind of wish we could have gotten something very similar to the original run of Miss Marvel with Kamala learning to use her powers and then fighting the inventor. I know we couldn't really do the whole Wolverine Miss Marvel team up because we don't have the mutants or Wolverine in the series yet. I mean, we did get Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, but I get what they're doing because they haven't introduced anyone yet, so I'm still waiting for our Kamala, Miss Marvel, Wolverine team-up in the series. Hopefully we'll get that if they ever do like a Season 2 of Miss Marvel in the future after the Marvels movie. That would be pretty awesome. I also hope we get to bring in the Inventor and the Na-humans, who are supposed to be like this evil inhuman group who Kamran joins. There is so much they could do with Miss Marvel now that she's in the MCU, and just I love this series, and I love how comic accurate they were with the costume. Just, it's pretty much, they did what they should have done with so many heroes. They brought the costume that we love to see and we love to read about. I also got a few hints of Bruno's crush on Kamala. I mean, not fully. I also would have liked to have seen his girlfriend after the fallout that Bruno and Kamala have after she uh, essentially denies Bruno in the comics. Like, that could be something that we could see when Bruno comes back from Caltech. That would be really awesome to see, because I do love her character very much, and there was just so many arcs that they could have done if they elongated the series a bit more. And actually, if you guys listened during the one little thing, I think it's a couple weeks later segment during the finale, you can actually hear the 90s X-Men theme a bit in the when Bruno mentions that she has a mutation, which is actually really fucking cool, and I love it. And I guess they're trying to move away from the Inhumans and now claim that Miss Marvel is a mutant, which kinda is really fucking cool, and I like how that works. Like, they're really trying to bring the mutants into the MCU now, and I can't wait for them to really bring them back in. I kind of was disappointed that the entire family and Nakia now knows, because in the original adaptation of Miss Marvel, the original series of Miss Marvel, only the mother and Bruno find out. Amir, I believe his name is, I'm probably wrong. Kamala's brother does, during the Battle World arc against Kamran and the group that he's a part of, they do give him powers technically because he's infected with the Terrigen Mist by Kamran. But the main problem with that is he's not supposed to know about Miss Marvel and Kamala Khan. So yeah, that kind of threw me off because they're not supposed to know, but I guess the series trying to make this a family series and trying to change some things so Kamala has more of a support group once she gains her powers. There was a lot of stuff that I kind of was disappointed that they didn't add, but I'm kind of happy with what happens. Also, they kind of give her a shape-shifting power during the end credits scene. Now, all of this is spoilers, so you should have clicked off right at the beginning of the movie. At the beginning of the video, so sorry for saying this now. But at the end, before... It's in the end credits scene, Kamala turns something or moves something on the bangle, and she shapeshifts into Miss Marvel, which is very reminiscent of the original run when she first goes crime fighting and she gets hit with the Terrigen Mist, she does turn into Carol Danvers, and just, I love it. I love that they're trying to do something's right. They're trying to make it a brilliant story. They're trying to work on it. They're trying to make a great story for all of us Miss Marvel fans out here. But they did miss some things that I would have liked to see, and many would have liked to see. But this is a good start, and I can't wait to see her in the Marvels with Photon and Captain Marvel, because this was a really good series. Just still disappointed about the powers, and still disappointed about some storylines that should have been left out. I do like that we go learn about the partition and what happened to Kamala Khan's family, what happened to her great grandmother, how she died, and just what happened to her in general, and why this show's version of why she has powers, and just, it's interesting, but I still wish they kind of did with the Terrigen Mist idea. I'm just gonna stop it right here, saying that this is definitely a show for any Miss Marvel fans, because they do the character justice, and they do bring in Kamran, who is a well-known villain from the first comic, and he kind of works out here. He's not fully a villain like he was in there, but they did something right by him by still creating the romance between them, and they brought in the Red Daggers, who apparently are a big thing in the Miss Marvel comics. I don't think I got that far in, so I don't know. They also brought in Captain Marvel, like I was hoping at the end of the episode, with the shape-shifting. And just, it's a really good series, and it's a good interpretation that they're trying to do, or an adaptation of what they're trying to do. They're trying to make their own story instead of fully going with the comics. I'm definitely giving this a 9.8 because still, I mentioned all the problems that I had with some parts of the series. I really can't wait to see what they do. I'm just so excited, and I can't wait because there is so much now that they can do with Miss Marvel now that she is in the MCU and now that she is a big part of the series. And just, I love it. I love this so much, guys. But yeah, 9.8 out of 10. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell for more of our content. And let's go, Miss Marvel. And Biggin out.